And as you find your seat, just take the time, shift, move. Find a little bit of comfort there. So think about lifting your hips up higher or setting your knees up on something to make it more comfortable. And then add a little bit of movement here through your hips, checking out the connection that you have. And then lengthen up through your sides and draw shoulder blades onto your back. Eyes closed here, and take a couple moments to let your breath start to become more full, a little bit deeper. Sending it more thoroughly into your body. Noticing that expansion and contraction action that happens in your body. And bring hands to connect at heart center and gently press your palms together. Lift your shoulders up and back. Lengthen up through the back of your neck and take one more full deep breath here, letting yourself fill it completely. On your next exhale, bow toward your heart. Softly opening your eyes, release your hands down and give your shoulders a little bit of movement up and back a couple times. Lift them up and back, up and back. And yes, there's a roll that happens here, but even more so, I want you to think of length through your sides and then shoulder blades engaging onto your back. One more time. And now hands in front to clasp. Pull forward with your arms, round back through your spine so you're getting a good expansion through the upper back. Tuck your chin downward and then add a little movement here side to side through your shoulders, maybe through your head and neck. And now inhale, sit tall, turn your palms forward, still clasped, and then shoulder blades on your back as you lift your arms up overhead. Lengthen the back of your neck, and then add a little side to side movement with your head. And keep your head in between your arms evenly and move side to side with your torso, your shoulders, taking that side stretch. Then back to center, release your hands, bring your hands behind to clasp. And as you press your palms toward each other, again, lift your shoulders up and back, long through your sides. As you lengthen the back of your neck, start to engage the low belly and the low ribs. Full big inhale to lift up even higher through your heart. Exhale, find that engagement through the core, cinching in with low belly and low ribs. Then releasing hands, go ahead and switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself. And then move your sitting bones. Again, finding that connection of sitting bones and the ground. Take hands to your upper thighs and press down. Have the intention here of rooting, but also lengthening from hip to armpit. Shoulder blades draw onto your back. Now take ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And then the same movements we did before, take hands in front to clasp. Pull forward with your arms, round back through your upper back, your chin tucks in, Add that movement side to side with your shoulders here if it feels good, or add a little turning of your head. Then inhale, sit tall, hands stay clasped. Press forward with your palms. Draw shoulder blades onto your back and then lift them up. Take a couple big breaths here and notice when you lift up with your arms, sometimes those bottom ribs like to pop forward. So you're going to exhale and draw your low ribs in, draw your low belly in. This supports the low back. Take a big inhale and lift up higher with your heart. Keep shoulder blades engaged. And exhale, release your hands, bring hands behind to clasp. Press palms together, lift your shoulders up and back, shoulder blades engage. And again, low belly, low ribs engage. Inhale, lift your ribs, your chest, your heart. Exhale, release your hands. Now come forward onto hands and knees. And then for a moment on hands and knees, pause and set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Rotate elbow pits forward and push, expanding into the upper back. And now we're going to shift forward into a forward fold at the front of our mat. So you can do that from hands and knees, or lift your hips up and back for a down dog for a moment, and then walk your way forward. Find your way to come forward into forward fold. Blocks under hands if you want. Take an inhale and lengthen part way, extend your heart. Exhale and fold over your legs. Hands to hips, press back on hips, lift up and open through your shoulders, and then rise. Open through your chest as you rise up. Walk your hands onto your low back and give a little press down onto your low back and onto the tops of your glutes to lift your chest, your heart. Open and expand, engage low belly, low ribs. Take a big breath. Good. Now, turn your palms open, expanding through your chest again here. Take an inhale and stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees to fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. And exhale, fold. And now, sun salutations, Surya Namaskar A. Plant hands, step back into a down dog. Take a big, deep breath here. Rotate elbow pits forward and push from lats out through your hands. You can always be on hands and knees here instead. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Knees can come down if you would like. Keep rotating forward with elbow pits and pushing, extend your heart. Exhale, bend elbows and lower down onto your belly. Inhale, curl up and open through shoulders first. Pause before you lift up. And take an exhale to engage low belly and low ribs. Inhale, lift up with your chest as high as your body needs. And exhale, move through hands and knees to down dog, or just push back to down dog, your choice. Take a big breath. And again, hands and knees are always that option here. And now walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold with the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Bend knees, squeeze your glutes, reach your arms. Inhale, rise all the way up. Lift up and open through your heart space. And exhale, hands come to your heart. And now inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen, lift your heart up part way. Exhale and fold. This time, lunging salutation. Plant your fingertips, step your right foot back into your lunge. You might sit your back knee on the ground or keep it lifted, your choice. Inhale, lift up and rise. Centering with your hips, tone, low belly, low ribs. Take a big breath. On your exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat and step all the way back, downward facing dog pose. Take a full breath. Remembering hands and knees are always an option. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Knees down if you'd like. Keep rotating your elbow pits and pushing, extend your front. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up and open through shoulders first. We'll do this the same way we did last time. Exhale, low belly, low ribs engage. Then inhale, curl up with your chest as high as your body needs. Exhale, downward facing dog or hands and knees, your choice. Big breath. And now we're stepping right foot forward. Feel free to bring your left knee down to help it get there. Right foot forward into your lunge. And from this place, you can keep back knee down or you can lift it up, whichever feels the best. Center with your hips. Lift your arms if you would like to. Tone your low belly and your low ribs. Take a deep breath. On your exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. Lift your back knee if it's down and step forward. Coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Hands to hips. Press back on hips as you lift up and open through shoulders. Hug elbows up. Squeeze your glutes and rise all the way up to standing. Good. Turn your palms. Take a big deep breath in your mountain pose. Good. Lunging salutation one more time. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend knees to fold. Inhale, lengthen part way. And exhale, fold. Planting fingertips, this time you're stepping left foot back into your lunge. Back knee up or down, your choice. Center with your hips, then bring your hands up to your hips to rise. Push down with your hands, lengthen your sides. Feel free to stretch if you would like to. Take a full breath, tone low belly and low ribs. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog pose, or hands and knees, your choice. Deep breath. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Knees down if you want. Keep rotating forward with your elbow pits, pushing, lengthening your front. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up and open through your shoulders. Pause, engage low belly, low ribs. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Full big deep breath. And now we stepped back with our left foot, so we're stepping forward with our left foot this time. And now as you center with your hips, root down with your feet, bring your hands up to your hips to rise. And again, left hip crease moves back in space, push down with your hands, lengthen your sides, maybe stretch up. Take a big deep breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat. Inhale, step forward, lift your heart up part way, and exhale, fold. Now, hands come up to your knees are bent. Push your sitting bones back and up, and then squeeze your glutes to rise all the way up, walking your hands up your legs to come to stand. Turn your palms open, lift up and open through your shoulders. Take a little ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And then come to stillness, take a full breath. Good. So now we're going to do a little bit of work at the wall. And it's been a little while since we've done our wall sits. So our goal with our wall sits is, yes, we're going to hold this for a little while, but even more so, we're going to activate our glute and the lowest part of our belly to help us stand from our wall sit. So if you have two blocks, you're going to use them. come on over to the wall. And we're gonna bring our back against the wall, hips against the wall, and then walk out with our feet so that we have shins approximately stacked straight up and down, about a 90-degree angle with our legs. Block in between our thighs. Block in between our hands straight out in front of us. And then push into the blocks. Draw shoulder blades onto your back, and now tilt your pelvis so that your belly's coming forward. You have a lumbar curve or a low back curve. You can put a hand back there and there's space. Now, squeeze your glutes and lean a little bit forward to stand up, trying to stand without using too much momentum. So we're gonna lean just a little, but use your glutes to stand, okay? We're gonna try this again. So back against the wall, walk your feet out. Find that place where you have approximately stacked with shins. Back toward you a little bit is easier. A little further away is harder. So now, hands on your block in front of you or your pillow, whatever you're using. If nothing, just tone like you're holding on to something. Draw shoulder blades onto your back, tilt your pelvis so your sitting bones are moving back. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your low belly. Low ribs draw in. Now, lean a little forward, squeeze your glutes, and rise up. Whew. Anyone working? You can't even answer me. Take a big breath. Good. Okay, so now we're gonna take the blocks out. And sometimes when you're not having to squeeze so hard, it makes it a little bit easier. But we're gonna do a little experimenting. So now, back against the wall. Find that stacked place for your shins, straight up and down. Hands come to your thighs, tilt your pelvis so your sitting bones are moving back. Squeeze glutes, squeeze low belly, squeeze low ribs, but keep that lumbar curve, reach your arms. And as you're hugging into your imaginary something, put your shoulder blades on your back. From this place, walk your feet out a little ways. Now, try to lean forward, squeeze your glutes and stand. Okay. I know for me, I didn't do it. So walk your feet back in and even walk them in a little further. Squeeze arms, shoulder blades engaged. Squeeze your glutes, find that tilt of your pelvis, and then stand. Yeah, lean as little forward as possible. Good. Take a big breath. Whew. Okay, come on back over to your mat. And if you're breathing heavy, then you're in the same boat as me. So feet inner hip distance apart and parallel, hands together at your heart. Take a moment to close your eyes and notice what is present in your body for sensation. Good. Okay, inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees, fold over your legs. And from your fold, take a moment to pedal out with your legs, bending one knee at a time. You can always have hands up on blocks here. It's always an option. And now we're going to heel toe our feet out, maybe as wide as our mat, maybe a little more narrow. You might even shift this once we come into our squat. Toes and knees are out at an angle, and then start to bend your knees and sit your hips low. Maybe you come all the way down into your squat. Maybe you put a block underneath your hips or something underneath your hips to create a little throne. Take a big breath wherever that is. Press elbows out into legs, hands together at your heart. Lift and spread your toes, lift your heart up. Take a big breath. Good, so now as gently as you know how, support yourself to bring your hips all the way down. And now we're gonna practice standing up from the ground without using our hands to support us. You might reach down, you might put something underneath your hips to give you a little bit of height, but cross your legs in front of you and then squeeze with the muscles of your legs. And as you do so, let them hug in a little bit. Now reach your arms forward, squeeze with the muscles of your legs, rock forward, and maybe stand all the way up. Maybe not. Maybe you fall back. Maybe you catch yourself. Maybe you have to use something to help you get there. That's okay. Now squeeze with the muscles of your legs. Reach your arms forward, push your hips back, and start to slowly, with control, lower your hips back down. Good. We're going to do 2 more. And guess what? This tends to get tiresome. So notice that. Okay. If you want, you can switch the cross of your legs. Reach your arms, squeeze in with the muscles of your legs, lean a little forward, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze to rise up. Yeah, good. Maybe you have to put your hand down for a moment to help. Yeah, nice. Okay, squeeze with the muscles of your legs. Reach your arms, hips push back, chest forward as you slowly lower yourself and try to control the release down. Sometimes a little plop happens. It's okay. All right, switch again if you'd like. And then squeeze and reach and tone through the glutes, tone through the core, lean a little forward and rise up. And then reach. And then start to shift your hips back. Squeeze your glutes. Try to lower with control and come all the way back down. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to shift forward onto hands and knees. And then back with hips to heels. Take a child's pose. Check in with yourself. Notice what's present in the body. Notice how your body feels. And then gently push yourself all the way up to your seat. Sitting bones on the ground. And then we're extending legs forward. And from this place, shift your sitting bones. Press down with fingertips and lift up with your heart. As you exhale, you're going to walk your hands as far forward as you can. Stay tilted forward with your belly, coming into your forward fold. If you would like, if you find that your low back is rounding, you can always walk your heels in a little bit so you have a considerable bend to your legs. And then tilt your belly more forward. If it's in your practice and it feels good, maybe you reach for your toes. The toes are not where enlightenment is, okay? So don't worry about trying to get there. Just take a big breath and instead find a really long spine. Deep breath. And now inhale, gently rise up. And then feet come together into a butterfly. And you can always have props underneath your legs here. But inch your feet closer and then notice how your pelvis is tilted. If your belly is pushing back for this pose, then move your feet a little further forward so your belly can move forward. So your sacrum can lift and move forward. And from that place, hands at shins, peace fingers at big toes, or fingertips behind you to find a long spine. Take a big, deep breath. Wherever that is for you, wherever you're holding on, now we're going to do a little bit of activation through our quads to help us reach. So now, with your feet snugged in toward each other, reach out through your thighs and knees toward the walls beside you. And then release that reach, and then reach again. And release that reach. So it's like you're flapping your butterfly wings, but really you're working through some of the inner thigh and groin muscles. One more big breath. Good. Now bring knees up to center. And we're going to make our way all the way down onto our backs. And from your backs, make sure you can reach all the props, all the things, everything you need. And then put footprints on the ground. Walk your feet just a little bit wider and then take knees in together to touch. And from that place, reach your arms overhead. Maybe you clasp your hands. Maybe you keep them wide if you have tight shoulders. And from that reach, think of letting your low back lift a little. And then add a little bit of movement with your pelvis here. You can swivel it a little bit, pivoting. You can tilt it forward and back. And then pull knees up toward your chest and take them over to the right side for just a moment. Take a big breath. And then knees up into your chest, back into center, and knees over to the left. Knees don't have to be together. And then knees back up to center, and extend your legs out long in front of you, and take a really big full body stretch. As you reach through your heels and reach through your arms, take a deep breath into your low back. And then begin to set yourself up into a really comfortable rest. So feel free, one of my favorite things these days, feel free to create a little bit of a lift for your legs. If you want to, if you have blocks and bolsters, then you can put blocks underneath and then set your bolster on top. Or you can use a chair for this, or legs up the wall. But let your legs be lifted above your hips if you would like. In general, just find that place where your body can settle the best. Feel free to close your eyes. Ultimately, let your breath become soft but full. And to take a deeper breath. Gently add some movement into fingers and into toes. And then as you're ready to bend your knees and roll over to whichever side feels best. And slowly bring yourself back up to your seat. Connect hands together at your heart with your eyes closed. Take a moment for a full breath. Have a very peaceful day. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.